Croft Manor, January 2011, 6 PM, 1 week ago. Lara received a letter from her father who died many years ago. I am Izzy Noodles, welcome back to Valek Ruins, Search for the Golden Elephant. We have an opening cutscene with Marty McFly here delivering a letter, which is a little bit of backstory on why Lara decided to visit the ruins in the first place. So it adds a bit more depth to the story this time. Okay, so here we go, entering the ruins. I'm just walking so I don't fall down the hole just there. So you can go down there, that is where we're going, but I just wanted to make sure to come around here to collect some items. Also be careful of fences that look like this, that I was just next to. If you jump too close to them, they actually act like spike traps. So you want to be careful of the fences. Oh, with these medicinal herbs, I would be able to treat myself if I get hurt. So here we have a red herb and a green herb. So these are the med packs, essentially. If you are used to Resident Evil, you will understand how to use these. But if not, let me just explain. We will have green herbs, red herbs, and yellow herbs. So you cannot use one item just by itself. You need to combine a green herb and a red herb initially. This makes a small med pack. If you want a large med pack, you then need to combine this already combined combination with a yellow herb. So no matter what, you need to combine green and red. So that's your starting point. So it is a little confusing if you're not used to that. So now we can head back around and we can head down into the hole. Okay, so just be careful. You want to just grab so that you don't take any unnecessary damage. And this level, the theme is much spookier than the last game. It looks like we're entering into the gates of hell. Very creepy. So again, being careful, just grab the edge so you don't overshoot and take unnecessary damage. I do want to just point out this door on the way down. There are loads of doors that we will need to open, but this one is the furthest one that's way out the way. So I just wanted to point that out because it can be easily forgotten. And next, we are just heading straight over to here. We can head for the rooftop just over there. So do be careful. We do have some slopes to be careful of. Ooh, that was very close. And just head straight down here. Now, there are numerous ways to actually get down. I think there's 3 in total. So I'm just choosing this for ease, so to help you get your bearings. So I can point out the other routes as I get close to them. So just hopping behind the barrels. I'm going to try and hop behind the barrels. There we go. For a yellow herb.
Good.
And now we are on the ground floor. So I can go around to the right. There's 2 keyholes just here. I can also go around this way. So it leads to the same place. And this is why it looked kind of creepy from up above. So we have this little lava lake just here. And I'm just going to come around the corner for another green medicinal herb. And from here it is very confusing. It seems like there's a lot to do. It's not as linear as any other Tomb Raider game that you'd imagine. So I'm coming up the ladder next. So there is a lot of exploration, a lot of going backwards and forwards, backtracking to see what you've opened up next. Usually I don't like those games, but this one's a bit different. It's not a case of, great, I found all the stuff and now we have to go all the way back to a previous spot. No, this one is very much, what did I open next? Let's go and have a look. So I don't mind that, that's fine with me. So now, I'm just going on ahead, shooting them chests to get them out of the way so I can move this box. Come on in, we have this crate that's in the way, move this as well. Okay, come on through, follow this path. And right here I can just crawl on into this space to grab another green medicinal herb. I feel like if she doesn't face directly north or whatever direction, if she's at a slight diagonal, she does a weird animation for picking things up. Okay, so heading through to here, this is actually the room where I just picked up the green herb off the table, but we couldn't have been able to grab that from a standing up position like this. So pulling that lever just here, it showed us another door has opened, so always make sure to take note of what is there when you get shown what door has opened. Also, we can see there's a crowbar lever here, so we're going to find a crowbar. So this is another spot we're going to return back to. We do return and go to and fro in this game. So yeah, I was saying it always shows you what's just open, so always take note. What can you see by that door? So we saw some chickens. Okay, this ladder, you can only grab it once. So, never mind. Bit of a late grab. I kind of didn't end up grabbing at all. Just trying to minimize damage. It didn't work out. So now coming into this section that I call the square. If you approach the cross, we get more dialogue. It seems to be a protective statue. I suppose people thought it has magical power. Okay, so here's some chickens. And this is the door we've just opened. So go ahead and move this cage out the way. This is blocking the way. And we can see we've actually just pushed that into the path of a button. So we need to try and press the button. Just get that out the way. Come around. There is another cage. So we're going to pull this and then we can push the first cage a little further so that we can get to the button. Now you probably just saw there is a healing herb in that gap on the other side of this cage. We can't get to that, or at least not yet. Okay, go ahead and push the button. Okay, nice. So that is in a cemetery. So the gate to the cemetery is currently closed. I'm going to take the long way around to show you the cemetery. So here it is. So we opened a gate inside there, but we have to find a way in. So not too obvious how to get in. We need to climb up the ladder again. Okay, reminder, be careful of any spiked fences. So just climb up here. We're above the cemetery here. See, there we go. So there are spikes in various places because it stops you just, jumping to where you're not supposed to be. So there's a load up on that roof. But we can jump to this roof. This is how we're getting down. So just be sure to grab this to minimize your damage. So we are now in the cemetery. So there are a bunch of healing herbs to collect. There is one just over here. Careful with your jump there because of that fence. There's a button there, so that's for when we leave. Yellow healing herb.
Good.
Red healing herb just here. You might need to crouch to pick this up.
Good.
Spider. In this long grass there is a very sneaky green herb. And there is another sneaky green herb just over here by this stone. Okay, so that's all the things. So this is the door that we've opened. What you need to do, just sort of run on into the second-ish tile and then back out again because we have a big old spider. So that the largest spiders are poisonous. Do be careful. And he can't fit through the door, he's too big. Ha ha ha. Okay, so once he's down, head on in and we can see another crowbar lever. But in here, if we approach the coffin from this side, we can open it up. And this is a sword hilt. This is just part one of a crowbar. We need another piece later on. So the sooner you get this particular piece, the better. Because once you find part two of the crowbar, you're kind of in a situation where you need to use the crowbar straight away. And to return all the way back here is going to be pretty tricky. You can get back, but you probably don't really want to backtrack so far. So yeah, we've got piece one of it already. So when you're ready to leave, just push this button. This opens the gate and you want to move fast because there is now a witch following us. I believe this works like a fire wraith. So if you remember the cross in the square, that's where we're heading to get rid of this. So it's so creepy. I love it. Okay, next. So as I said, this level is not linear at all, so it can come across as very confusing because Tomb Raider is generally quite linear. So I'm now going to pull this crate along just to the right hand side. There's a high up button in that corner. And for my walkthrough, because I could have just pulled this crate sooner, but I didn't. For my walkthrough, I have tried to minimize backtracking, but this is not the fastest way to do it. You'll still have just a bit of backtracking, but I've tried to make it so you're not going too far out of the way when you don't need to. So I'm not doing it the fastest way that could be done, just a heads up there. But I have kind of done my best anyway. Okay, so push the button and we can see the next door is open. So I'm trying not to go too far out of the way to show you stuff just because this is a big level. There is a lot of places to go to. So I'm just trying to show you a bit at a time as we go along and open things up. So inside here, just hop onto the table. So not very obvious right up here on the table. There is a Clover Key. So suspiciously, this said Clover looks a little bit like a club. So you'll see more Resident Evil themes with the keys as we collect more. So before leaving, also just grab this healing herb. Or medicinal herb, I do sometimes call them healing herbs. Okay, and next we are going to find the diamond key. So if I just step on the correct tile, there we go, got it straight away, we can see a key right up on that column. So this is an alternate way we could have come down to the ground floor. I kind of just wanted to help you get your bearings, so I didn't go that way, but you can do to save yourself a bit of time. So you can go up that way. No, come down that way rather. So now I have to go back up to the roof to be able to get down to that column. Okay, just being careful. So there we go. To get down there, there is no other way, as far as I'm aware. You have to jump down and you will take some damage. So an alternate way down again as well is if you hit the sloped roof there, you see where the crate is on the floor, you can drop down into that section. So that's all behind the fencing, but you can use the crate to get over the fence. So that's another way down, but it's a return path from somewhere else. So I recommend you not bother taking that route, just because you'll go there anyway later. So, this can be tricky. I also failed to mention, sometimes the game lags in certain places. It's fine for me, I don't mind too much, it's not too much lag. But the recommendation is to close everything you don't need to use on your computer. There's also a file once you download the game that might help you out as well. But the menu for me is sometimes kind of slow. That's the only annoyance, but for that I didn't bother just playing around with anything. I'm using it as it is, and it's fine for me, but that's just a heads up. I just randomly thought of that right now. But anyway, recommending a save in case this goes wrong. So go as far back as you can, and then run and jump, but with a twist in the air. And be sure to grab, just in case you hit the slope a little off and you just fall down and hit the slope. Fall down. Okay, so once you pick up the key as well, try to be at an angle, because you might end up on the slope as she turns to pick it up. And you could again potentially fall down. So to get from here, either jump or just run forward with a grab, and you'll be just fine. Hey, just adding in a quick edit just here. There is an alternative way to get the diamond key. I believe it's the diamond one on top of the column just there. So there is another way to get it. Somehow this slipped by me, and it's so much easier to do. You do not take any damage. So at this point in adding in this edit, I'm not sure if I've moved the block from here yet. But you can use the block, so if you haven't moved it, it will be where I was just standing. So move this all the way over to the lava. Okay, so you don't need it all the way to the end, so once it's far enough over, so I guess I didn't need to even move it this far, but you can actually grab up to the ceiling here. This is so much easier to do. How did I not realize? And then from here we can just hop over to, can I make it from here? Yep, hop to here. And then super easy, jump over. So again, I'd recommend doing a twist in the air to make sure you're going to hit backwards in case you hit the slope. And easy as that, you're not taking any damage. So this game is probably a lot more possible without using any med packs now that we've taken that crazy jump from way up there out of the scenario. But I will continue where I left off, having had the crazy leap from the rooftop to get the key. So the diamond key is being used right here. Now to tell some of the keyholes apart, to know where to use the key, you can just see sitting on the top is a diamond shape. So that helps us out to know where to use which key. In here there is 3 spiders. And this key, this is the heart key. So now in our possession we have the Clover Key and the Heart Key. They can both be used right at the back over here. So I have taken a lot of damage. Usually at this point I haven't taken so much. So I will be using med packs because there are moments where there's a lot of camera shaking at times when you just don't want it to be shaking. So it can feel a little unpredictable. So I will use med packs. There's only 2 spots really where you need to. And I think you'll pretty much figure out them as we get there. But anyway, coming inside this newly opened section, there is some stuff to do up in the roof. So I've minimized it so we're doing them both at the same time. But right now we can't. We can only grab this jump switch. And that's opened up our next area. So not too obvious where that is. That's just behind where we used the diamond key, right through here. So picking up this red medicinal herb along the way. And right up this ladder is where we open the door. These sandbags are in my way. Okay, so coming on through, just shoot this chest to get it out of the way so we can get to the button. And you can see a gate has opened right behind me. So through the gate, just shoot the spiders and head on through. And you can see we have some block pushing shenanigans to do. So we have a red tile behind me there and a green tile ahead of me. There is a block or a block, a cage on a red lit up tile and another one on a green lit up tile. So this is what we're doing. We need to do a block puzzle with levers. You can just see some levers in the dark over the barrier. We're going to raise up sections so that we can get the 2 blocks to their corresponding colours. So I'm first going to focus on the red one. This is the easier ones. You might want to do the hard one first, up to you. I'm going to do the red one first. Also recommending a save in case you do something wrong. Because you never know, especially with the second one. Definitely save before your second one. So from this position with my back to the entrance, so on entering the room, I will always refer to that side as the right, and that side will always be the left. So we do have 2 levers on each side. So moving the red block first, so on the right hand side, pull both levers. And then we can go down and move the block. So that's pretty handy. That's raised up every single one of these tiles, so we can easily move it right to the far end. Okay, so pull it all the way over so it's off of those tiles. And now I'm heading to the left side, and again I'm going to pull both levers. Okay, and again back to the block. Okay, so now I'm able to pull it all the way into the gap right here in the middle of the bridge. Okay, and now we just need to raise it up, so go over to the right hand side and pull only the nearest lever. And next, easy peasy, just pull this onto the red glowing tile. Okay, so we've been shown that's part 1 of something, so something's gonna happen, but nothing's happened yet. So now for the green one. So if you've not saved your game, save your game now, just in case something goes wrong. So starting on the left side, pull the far lever. And going over to the right side, again, pull the far lever. And now I can move the block all the way along this space. Okay. So now go to the left side and pull the near lever. Go to the right side and pull the far lever. Now head back to the block. So go ahead, push it. We can only push it this one space, so just do that. That's all you can do for now. So now we're actually going to pull all the levers. So left side, both levers. And the right side, both levers. Okay, and now we've raised up all of these, so where I'm standing now, we're going to put the block, push it all the way around to that spot. Okay, so next what we need to do is go to the right side and pull the far lever. Okay, and just pull it into this gap. And then all we have to do is raise that up. So the lever I just pulled did lower that block, so pulling it again would raise it, but it doesn't matter. Either one of these, either the nearest lever or the furthest lever on the right hand side. I'll pull the near lever because that's what I have been doing. I just happened to notice this time around that the further lever next to me did lower it when I pulled it. Okay, so that gate is now open, but where is that? So this brings me to the subject of flares. You don't get any flare pickups at all in the game, but you start out with 30 and they last forever. So you should be fine. I didn't struggle for flares on my first play. And to be fair, this room is pretty dark, so I think I kept lighting flares as well in this room on a first time play. So the opening, as you light a flare, you can see is actually right here. Can't really see it unless you do have a flare. So you can also flip out of the gaps. You can't do it here because of a low ceiling space. And there we go. This room is at the end of the bridge where I was just moving the blocks to. Okay, so let's head straight in there. So we do have some flames now. They're more of a hindrance, really, because you have to jump kind of close to them in order to get over here. Although, actually, I forget that sometimes you can jump onto the boxes. It's when sometimes she can't, but this time she can. So I'm just having a moment, that's fine. You can jump over the box if you're struggling to get around the flame. So we can see this is kind of a precarious kind of room. So firstly pick up this green medicinal herb. And then we have this spike key. You don't really need to save it, but just in case something goes wrong, I recommend it. Okay, and just do a dive out of there real quick after picking that up. So you'll notice this spike key I just picked up looks suspiciously like a spade. But anyway, this is where I will end this video part for today. So, I'm not leaving the room because as I leave, we'll get a little flyby to show us where to go next. So I'll leave that for next time and we can head straight there after seeing it. So I hope you're enjoying this slightly spooky version of Valek Ruins, and I hope to see you next time. Take it easy.